So are there really 3 hours of questions? Or has it? Are you fucking serious?
Yeah. You don't think there's a lot to talk about, Elon?
Holy fuck, man.
I mean, it's the most interesting point. All the storylines are kind of converging
They are.
right now. So we'll see how much.
Almost like I planned it.
Exactly. Well, we'll get
But I
to
would
that.
never do such a thing.
Elon Musk, ladies and gentlemen, the richest man on this planet. Today, we're going to review his communication skills and his speaking, his charisma, his leadership skills from the perspective of a speaking and charisma coach. This is what I do with my clients in business, sales, and content. So if you want me to review your own speaking or content for free, you can join the link in the description, join the community, send me a clip you want me to review, and I'll do this exact format for you, for your own content. I'll send you a long video. But today we're going to review the 6 pillars of speaking. This is what I teach my clients. And already...
Storyline. Yeah.
I'm quite surprised by Elon's charisma. One of the 6 pillars is charisma. I define it as the ability to make people experience desire in your presence. And in any room, any context, the person who's most enjoying of themselves and most relaxed and most free is the person who has the highest charisma, because everyone wants to feel that. And in that first instance, Elon is pretty charismatic.
You don't think there's a lot to talk about, Elon?
Holy fuck, man.
I mean,
He's swearing, he's laughing out loud.
it's the most interesting point. All the storylines are kind of converging
They are.
right now. So we'll see how much.
Almost like I planned it.
Exactly. Well, we'll get
But
to
I
that.
would never do such a thing.
He's making jokes. His body language is a bit weird, but he's charismatic. He's being himself.
What's the reason to put them in space?
Well, the availability of energy is the issue.
Okay, this is now more of what I expected. The flow. Every second or third word is a filler word. It's
I mean, if you look at electrical output outside of China, everywhere outside of China, it's more or less flat. It's very, maybe a slight increase, but for pretty close flat. China has a rapid increase in electrical output. But if you're putting data centers anywhere except China, where are you going to get your electricity? Especially as you scale. The output of chips is growing pretty much exponentially.
Okay, now this is a very interesting experience for me. Now I have all my respect for Elon Musk in terms of entrepreneurship. Wow. I mean, how can you not? What, $800 billion of net worth now? Ridiculous. Out of this world. But it's the first time this happens to me, since my job tends to be to analyze body language and I pay particular attention to details. It's the first time the body language and the communication is so strange, I cannot even focus on what he's talking about.
Maybe a slight increase, but for pretty close flat. China has a rapid increase in electrical output. But if you...
Let me try to break down why it's not working so that you guys do the opposite. Because can you imagine if that man had all of that intelligence and skills plus the charisma in communication, plus the communication skills? I mean, it would be out of this world. Perhaps the reason he's able to manage so many businesses is because life always finds a way to balance it out, and so he cannot have everything. His ability is extremely focused on the intellectual and strategy and not the human social skills side of things.
If you're putting data centers anywhere except China, where are you going to get your electricity?
So clarity, that's another one of the pillars. His articulation is quite poor. I have difficulty understanding his articulation, the way, watch his mouth.
Especially as you scale. The output of chips is growing pretty much exponentially, but the output of electricity is flat.
It's almost as if his jaw is tired. See, when I speak, I slightly over-exaggerate the pronunciation, especially when I make videos or when I'm on stage. The reason is because that's how you keep people's attention. You make sure that you're as clear as possible.
So how are you going to turn the chips on? Magical power sources? Magical electricity fairies?
You're famously a big, you're famously a big fan.
What I appreciate, though, I got to give that to him, is the charisma side. Like I already said, that's one of the pillars. So we already covered 3. His charisma, he's comfortable being himself. He's joking around. It feels like he doesn't really care about judgment, which wins him a lot of points.
Is the plan to like put it into space after we've covered Nevada and solar panels?
I think it's pretty hard to cover Nevada and solar panels. You have to get like permits from like the permits for try getting the permits for that.
So
what
the
happens.
space is really it's really a regulatory play. It's like harder to build on land than it is in space.
It's harder to scale on the ground than it is to scale in space. But also you're going to get about 5 times the effectiveness of solar panels in space versus the ground, and you don't need batteries.
What I find quite interesting is that his certainty in the way he speaks is actually pretty low. And that is strange because a leader at that level, with that level of success, I would expect to have more certainty. We've reviewed other guys on this channel with insane certainty. But I guess in his case, it comes down to humility. It's the way he expresses his points in his language. It's very humble. It's not like, hey guys, your question is fucking stupid because this is what's happening. And I've done that for decades and I'm a billionaire. So can you ask me better questions? But that would be too arrogant. And especially when you're at his level, that's the key here. When you're at his level, people's egos are automatically triggered. Automatically. So you must actually be humble intentionally. And in his case, I think it's natural.
I almost wore my other shirt, which says it's always sunny in space, which it is. So, because you don't have a day-night cycle or seasonality, clouds, or an atmosphere in space, because the atmosphere alone results in about a 30% loss of energy. So you're going for any given solar panels can do about 5 times more power in space than on the ground.
Okay, I must come back to the flow. This is truly his worst pillar here. Genuinely, if he was just using even half the filler words he's using, maybe like a third, it would completely improve the clarity of his message and his ability to share his ideas with the world in a more effective way. Now, it's already working for him. I mean, who am I to say that? See, that was humility, by the way. But another point is novelty. The quality of the ideas that someone shares. Is it something that you hear often? Because you can be a great speaker and then go, be grateful, guys. It will make you happier. Everyone has heard that. We don't give a fuck. Elon is definitely amazing on that. I mean, just his ideas, what he's going after, his vision. Sometimes I hear his businesses and I'm like, what the fuck? How the fuck does someone even think that is possible in the first place, yet alone making it happen in the world? And so it's very interesting, his ideas, the way his mind works. That definitely works to his advantage.
And you avoid the cost of having batteries to carry you through the night. So it's actually much cheaper to do in space. And my prediction is that it will be by far the cheapest place to put AI will be space in 36 months or less, maybe 30 months.
36 months?
Less than 36 months.
How do you service GPUs as they fail, which happens quite often in training?
Actually, it depends on how recent the GPUs are that arrived. I mean, at this point, we found our GPUs to be quite reliable. There's infinite mortality, which you can obviously iron out on the ground. So you can just run them on the ground and confirm that you don't have infinite mortality with the GPUs. But once they start working, their actual reliability and once they start working and you're past the initial debug cycle of NVIDIA or whatever.
Okay, so now he lost me in what he's saying, but maybe I am not the ideal avatar for this conversation. Another pillar is clarity, which basically is are you understandable? Is it relatable what you're talking about? Elon, by definition, cannot really be relatable, and his level of thinking is very high. But again, it depends on the audience. So this is pretty relative, I would say, for the general population, though, that again is a weaker point of his.
So I don't think the servicing thing is an issue. But you can mark my words. in 36 months, but probably closer to 30 months, the most economically compelling place to put AI will be space.
Okay, you can feel the certainty now. It's so interesting because it's on a deeper level than the way he expresses himself. It's in the eyes. You can feel it finally. I love this.
And then it will get it'll then get like ridiculously better to be in space. And then the scaling, the only place you can really scale is space. Once you start thinking in terms of what percentage of the sun's power are you harnessing, you realize you have to go to space. You can't scale very, very much on Earth.
But by very much, to be clear, you're talking like terawatts.
Yeah. Well, all of the United States.
The last pillar is congruency. Now, this is kind of complicated because it's a very long conversation. Maybe he becomes more congruent later. But the way I define congruency is the ability to make things personal in what you're sharing personal stories, making it close to you, because the more close to you you make it, the more people can feel like it's close to them as well. We're all human. And the only thing I saw here that was congruent is when he put himself on the line. He said, mark my words. Whenever someone says that, and especially a public figure like him, it's risky to say that. It's risky to say, mark my words, because then if it doesn't happen, people will say Elon Musk was wrong, and they'll try to grab on anything they can to make him wrong. And so this is actually very inspiring, and it makes it personal. All right, that was it for me today. That was quite an interesting one. It was a challenging one because of how different he communicates from everyone else I've ever reviewed. So let me know who should I review next. And again, if you want me to review your own speeches or content, just join the community. Let me know which one I should review, and I will send it to you. If you also want to join for the live workshops, the immersive experience, you can look at all the lessons that people have learned already in the community when you join, and there's a lot of content out there, all the recordings, everything's there. So I love you. I'll see you here soon. Peace.